Hello, I'm Victoria Fritz. Let's take a look at how markets in Europe have ended the trading session today. And US and European equities were just a little bit firmer overall. You can see the Dow up just 53 points, but pretty much flat for the FTSE 100 and the DAX in Frankfurt. They had been, earlier on in the session, inching off three-week lows, and it was energy companies that were lifted by a jump in the price of oil. As you can see here, Brent crude $45, almost $46 a barrel at the moment. Prices rose for the first time this week off the back of concerns about supply disruptions caused by those wildfires that you've seen pictures of in Canada. Let's take a look at some of the individual stocks on the move today, and the biggest one was Centrica. This one here, down 10% at the end of the day. This is the owner of British Gas. It was their biggest drop since the financial crisis. The company has said it's going to be tapping shareholders for roughly 700 million or 770 million pounds to protect its credit rating. Elsewhere, Trinity Mirror shares were going in the opposite direction, up about 6% at the end of the day. The market clearly not mourning the loss of the New Day. This is a daily newspaper that's set to close tomorrow, just 9 weeks after it was launched. Let's have a quick look at Rolls-Royce shares. They were down slightly today after the company warned that this year continues to be a challenging year overall. Some big restructuring going on at that company. And Burberry, they're considering the appointment of a senior manager to support the chief executive, Christopher Bailey, following investor concerns over disappointing trading and a sharp fall in the share price. They were flat today, but they've been down about 21% since Mr. Bailey took over as chief executive back in May 2014. And we've got one more thing to show you. This is how the FTSE ended at the end of the day, pretty much flat. But we did have some news about the economic recovery, and it looks to have slowed very sharply in the second quarter of this year. Businesses are delaying spending decisions ahead of the EU referendum. And economists right across the city have been slashing their forecasts for the second quarter of the year in recent weeks, following a string of disappointing data releases, not just the services sector, but also manufacturing and construction. As of nations that export to all kinds of commodities benefited from a jump in the oil price following news of a drop in US production. Oil has rallied now for the 4 of the past 5 weeks, even as policymakers failed to agree production curbs at last month's OPEC meeting. You can see what's going on with the oil price at the moment. It's been lifting the Dow somewhat. Now, don't forget, there's plenty more business news, of course, available on the website. The place to find it is always the same, bbc.co.uk/business. That's it from me.
Thanks, Victoria. Thank you. Now, let's get an update on the situation in Kenya, because 4 people in all have now been brought out alive today from the debris of that building that collapsed 6 days ago in the capital, Nairobi. At least 33 people are known to have died, and about 80 are still missing.